It is Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. Uh, uh, and AEW Dynamite just finished, and another big Tony Khan announcement. Matt, your thoughts? Basically, uh, the tease is that
Mhm.
Mercedes Moné will be joining the company. Tony Khan announced March 13th at the TD Garden in Boston. Boston was spelled with $2 BOSS. So they're kind of going the CM Punk route here, where they're teasing that she's going to be there without actually announcing it. What did you think of this announcement?
Well, first, folks, welcome to another amazing episode of Gigantic Pop. I'm yours truly, the Blueprint Matt Morgan, joined by my co-host with the mostest, Mr. Raj Giri. I'm just joking.
I should just let you drive.
No, I'm just totally joking. No, do not do that. We might get into an accident. But real quick, I thought if their tickets have been down in general, right? Unless it's an exaggeration, but I don't because we can see their tickets sales on various websites that document all of this. Anyways, I think it was a very big missed opportunity to not somehow, some way, be able to talk about that they just signed the biggest women's free agent. Forget women's, the biggest free agent that money can buy. Star for the ages, really build her up, and then have her either come out or actually have her do a vignette. But don't have her in the live audience just yet on tonight's episode. But I definitely would have had her be the one to make the announcement. Okay, because that will get people excited. That will get people to want to maybe go get tickets. But this almost arrogance on Tony's part, assuming that everyone's just going to go flock to Boston because it's a afterthought that Mercedes Moné is going to be there. That's her home turf. That's where she's from. I get it, but at the same token, CM Punk is CM Punk. There's a difference here, and it worked that time, and it worked amazingly to the credit. But I'll still make the argument. There was left revenue on the floor by not announcing Punk was going to be there, some form or fashion, in my opinion. Especially with their ticket sales being down. You need to take every advantage you can. Why would you not take advantage of bringing out the biggest free agent in the business right now?
Right. Yeah, and with Punk, those tickets, they did sell out like instantly because it had gotten so much buzz online. We'll see how this one goes. I kind of agree with you. I feel like since you've already done that with Punk, just to make things different, do a vignette. Do just a video, not even have her speak, but do a video like she's coming, or just her turn around, look at the camera, just something. Yeah.
And then and just right. And have she doesn't even have to talk, or just flash Boston across the screen, or Boston boss, something like that. I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. And because right now they need something now, not 5 weeks from now. Now they're nowhere to be found in headlines, and one can make the argument. Maybe that's a good thing. With some of the headlines we see these last couple of weeks, right? So to be fair to them, maybe that's a good thing, but in sincerity, they need something for momentum. And this would have been a way to do it, in my opinion. I think they miss an opportunity. Like, Tony's going to keep being the boy that cries wolf with these big announcements. Okay. I expected, I know everyone said we're not going to see her until next month. I get that. But when he said, a huge announcement, like, maybe he's given her to us earlier, maybe. That's the way I saw it.
Yeah. So according to Fightful, the decision there, let's see, hold on 1 second. She's apparently been on the payroll. She's been getting paid since at least January. So she's been with the company for a while. So she just hasn't been ready for the ring. And yeah, now she's going. And then Okada, also a free agent. He's got the whole Rainmaker, Make It Rain gimmick as well. So they could do a 2-in-1 that night, but we'll see.
Is he definitely going to AEW?
No, that's not. It hasn't been reported that he's signed yet, so that's still up in the air.
Okay.
Some other big news. Stop D'Amore, who has been with TNA forever.
Dumore.
D'Amore, sorry. D'Amore. He is no longer with the company. TNA let him go. They just had one of their best pay-per-views, most successful pay-per-views in a long time. And just weeks ago. And he is gone. And
He's given that company its pride back. He's given so much to that company and taken them through when he first got there for some crazy times at the time, and worked really hard. Always had put on good shows. Everybody has ever watched Impact will always say the same thing. Wow, what an underrated show. That's the easiest show to sit back and just watch and enjoy a show. It just is. It's so simple to watch. It's easy. But he did all these improvements to the company, got the name TNA brand back, which was huge for brand awareness. And then I don't know the guy that's taken over from a hole in the wall. I just know, he's from their parent company.
yeah.
And to my understanding, he has no wrestling experience. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has zero.
Yeah.
Again, you let people that know what they're doing with pro wrestling run the pro wrestling component of said business. You don't bring in people that have absolutely no clue about pro wrestling, try to handle it, because wrestling is it's its own entity. And I say that a lot, but I mean that here more than ever concerning pro wrestling. It's like a 3-ring circus. It's like a carnival. It's like a variety show. It's not those. It's a little bit of everything in one. And if you don't have any kind of background in it, you're going to be swimming in the deep end right away and not understanding the context of how this business works and what's going to be successful. You can look at it from a money standpoint, from a 5,000 foot view. Yes, but you don't know the day-to-day of making these shows and creating these stars, and timing the show and all that very important stuff that people, in my opinion, with pro wrestling experience should be doing. Scott's done an amazing job, and I'm very, very frustrated and disappointed to see them do this and let him go like this. Unless there's something that we're not being told. It's the only thing. Otherwise, I can't think of anything else as to why. It can't be based on success. He's been very successful there.
Yeah, Anthony Sassone, I hope I'm saying that right. He was the president
Chacon.
of entertainment.
I'm guessing Chacon. But
Chacon,
I'm guessing
president of entertainment at Anthem. He currently oversees Access TV, HDNet Movies, Game Plus, the Fight Network, and other broadcast outlets for Anthem. Will now be taking that spot. Talent weren't happy about it. A lot of talent going on Twitter.
They shouldn't be. They should be pissed.
Yeah, and expressing their displeasure, which, a lot of times when something like that happens, you stay quiet about it because the company's not happy. But not this time. A lot of people voicing their displeasure. Again, like what you mentioned, Matt, we don't know exactly what happened. If this was just a pure business decision, it does seem like a very strange time to do it when they do seem to have some real momentum.
Yeah, well said. I agree wholeheartedly. And I feel bad for all the guys and gals on that roster, because Scott's one of those, like, he's beyond emotionally invested in everybody. Like, it was the little engine that could, what I mean? And I went back there for one of their anniversaries, I don't know, 2 years ago. I made a year ago maybe, and did a quick cameo backstage because they were here in my home state of Florida. Mm-hmm. But again, everybody there loves him. And when you have a leader like that everybody loves working for, it makes you take those extra bumps. It makes you go that extra mile in your matches, no matter how many folks are watching. I'm very disappointed with it. Very disappointed. And let me ask you this, Raj. Do you think this has anything to do with, because with WWE, we're seeing a yes, Dwayne The Rock Johnson is part of the TKO board, but other than that, there is no real wrestling person that's on the overall board. Do you know what I mean? Do you think that had anything to do with them making this decision? Just thinking, oh, well, if Ario Emanuel and all these others that have no real wrestling experience can run WWE, which is a huge juggernaut, maybe we could do, like, because it's the timing of it feels very peculiar to me.
It is weird, and again, I gotta think there's probably more to it, just because
Has to be. Right?
there's way too much momentum. This is the most momentum they've had in a long time. This pay per view was the most successful they've had in forever. So I just don't see why you would mess with that and bring in somebody that has no experience in that position.
Yeah.
It's one thing if he had been being groomed for it,
Right.
but that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like they're completely bringing in this guy from out of the blue.
Man.
And
Let's hope for the best.
yeah, and you brought up no wrestling people on the board outside of quote unquote The Rock, who's in and out, but Vince was supposed to be, but obviously everything that happened. So it'll be interesting to see if they had Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan as kind of the co-faces of the company when Vince was gone the first time. It'll be interesting to see if Rock starts getting more in that position, because he does have, as much as the fans are upset with him over since Friday night, he does have that presence and that charisma to the public at large that they just love him, and he's one of those that would kind of help repair that image that Vince is kind of leaving behind.
So I'll be honest, the whole Vince thing is going to take time. They can cure the WWE can go out there and cure cancer right now. It's not going to take anything away from the stain that is what Vince McMahon's done, right?
Yeah,
it's going to be time. It's going to be time, because the company is going to continue to go on. They're not going to close. They're not going anywhere. And I mean, look how many fans shifted their attention to not necessarily talking about the Vince's story as much versus what's going on with Rock taking Cody's spot, which I still stick to my prediction. Can I make my prediction? I still feel I'm correct. It will still be night 2, Cody Rhodes versus Roman somehow.
Let's do it. Tomorrow night, the big press conference. They're going to announce the main events. Michael Cole on Raw said it's expected that it's going to be Rock versus Roman and Cody versus Seth. But why would you say that? Unless there's a twist coming. So
good. Let's hope
I hope
so.
you're right.
Yes.
I hope you're right, Matt. I do think, real quick, Vincent with the $5 super chat. 2 questions. How do you think the WWE press will go tomorrow in Vegas? And who's your pick to challenge Gunther at Mania? So real quick, we will be back tomorrow night with another gigantic pop after the press conference. Glenn is going to be there, and he'll be on hand. Hopefully get some interviews in as well. He'll be there on behalf of Gigantic Pop. I think it's going to be, I'm sure there'll be some Vince questions in there. And as we're kind of seeing, there's a Vice story today. I think the Vince stuff, it's going to get worse before it gets even more worse. This is an ongoing thing. And if other executives involved, it's going to be worse. So that's definitely going to be a part. But as far as the WrestleMania goes,
answer the Gunther question.
With Gunther, I think Braun Breaker. They did the spot at the Rumble. So I think he would be the guy. I mean, he kind of did the Brock spots, and you have Braun in there, and you have Braun beat him, and a star is born.
Whoa.
and then Gunther moves on to the world title. What do you think?
As long as it's Gunther moving on to the world title, okay. Man, I can't say I'd hate that match. I would love that match. That'd be very hard hitting too. I mean, who else is there? Is it Drew? I mean, is that a step down? I hate to say that, not disrespecting Gunther, but didn't Drew just fight for the IC in a 3-way last year?
Yeah, they did that last year with Sheamus.
Yeah, so they're not going to do that. I like that. I like Braun Breaker. All right, I'll go with that.
Yeah. So a couple more questions. Cleveland Rocks. Rock called himself the long gamer before his video ended today. I definitely believe there's going to be an angle at the presser. I think there has to be, because the way they've been doing it with the announcers opening Raw, with Pat McAfee using the hashtag We Want Cody, with them really showcasing those signs in the crowd. I mean, there were some fans on Twitter that were saying they were responsible. The company didn't plant those signs. They created those signs, handed them out, but the company was definitely highlighting them. So they're leaning into it. And if you're leaning into it, that means people are going to crap on the Rock versus Roman match. So there's got to be more. And I think a triple threat, it's just not the same.
Listen to me and listen to me good. Your best friend, your favorite pro wrestler on the planet, The Rock, is going to get booed severely out of WrestleMania, and I can't wait for it.
Unless they do your thing, which is Rock versus Roman night 1, and then the winner faces Cody night 2. I think that's the best option.
It can't be the 3. I mean, I could see why the 3-way maybe, but then here's what happens. Again, what also left a bad taste in the mouth wasn't Rock just completely stepping in front of Cody, and Cody's trying to sell it to us, by the way. He tried to sell it the best he could to us that, yeah, we're not going to do WrestleMania now. Here's my counsel who's coming out now. Here you go. Body language. There you go. You got the main event. And he walks out. It was horrible how they made him look, right? They completely emasculated him on television. But it was also, I got this vibe of big brother, little brother, vibe. So if it's in a 3-way, I worry that if it is a 3-way, I don't think it's a smart idea to have The Rock be the one that does something to Roman to weaken him, and then Cody is able to hit his finisher 1, 2, 3, because now everyone just wants to see Cody win. I get that, but it cannot become because of frigging Rock's help. I mean, it could if there's outside interference or something along those lines. I can see it, but I don't know. I still think night 2, it's got to be Cody versus Roman, and I love that they're getting crap for this because they deserve it. They should not have messed with this. The Rock ain't watching Raw every week. He's not even watching SmackDown every week. I love him as a talent. As far as back in the heydays, he was my favorite wrestler back then when I was in college. The coolest guy in the world. But now he's not paying attention, and if he still has his ear being the people's champ that he says he is, then he knows what time it is right now, and he knows what's going to happen, and he does not want to be booed, not being as famous as he is, and wants to be everybody's babyface. No way.
Well, I think individually, Rock versus Roman and Rock versus Cody. I mean, Roman versus Cody are just the 2 biggest matches they have. Again, Rock versus Roman, the fans, because of what they did with Cody, the fans already turned on it, but worldwide that is the biggest match possible in wrestling, that you can do. But making it a triple threat, I agree they shouldn't do that where Cody lucks into the win. The one thing with doing a triple threat is the match quality will probably be better because Rock hasn't wrestled in over a decade. He could be outside of the ring selling a lot. He gets thrown out, and you could leave it to Roman and Cody to do most of the work. So as a match, it'll probably be better as a triple threat, but the drama, the marquee, I think doing 2 separate for sure.
Dude, and to really drive people crazy and lean into it, don't announce Cody versus Roman on night 2. I know the internet will go bananas.
Yeah.
But think of the friggin' reaction.
But then when they crap on Rock and Roman on night 1.
Oh, well, sorry, Rock. Should have known your role. Yeah, that's a good point. They don't want to boo the Rock booed, but I don't know. I think no matter what happens, he's going to be initially booed slightly. But they can get out of the Mania. They'll cheer for him as long as they know Cody's getting Roman.
Yeah. I think the bigger concern, even with Rock getting booed, is more like they crap on the match, like they did with Brock versus Roman that one year at Mania, where they just were like not cheering either of them. A more extreme example, obviously, is Brock versus Goldberg. So you don't want that.
No, they don't. And it's Philly. Philly's ruthless. Philly and Chicago are always fun to wrestle at.
Yeah.
Just because as a heel, it'd be hard not to be cheered because they generally would try to go the opposite way more times than not. So you'd have to do even more stuff to get them to boo you, which I always thought was a challenge.
Yeah. Timothy Courier is asking if we go with what we were talking about, who goes against Rollins?
Don't care. And I think, no offense to Seth in that title at this moment, hope the company sees what time it is. Like, yes, it's great they have another title. That's been amazing. You stupid morons allowed Roman Reigns to go out on national television and completely wipe his you know what with that title, all right, to make it absolutely meaningless. It will still mean something because Seth has it and he's a great worker and the fans do like Seth. They do appreciate his hard work. You could see it in the promo last week. The fans appreciate his hard work for it. But that was dumb. That was so stupid that they did that. And like you said earlier, the 2 biggest matches are involving Roman Reigns. Cody, Roman, The Rock. I mean, they really want to convolute it. No, they can't do a 4-way. Yeah. They still could do, potentially, Cody, Seth, night 1, You advertise Rock Roman night 2. Cody makes the challenge on night 2 after Rock gets pinned. Comes out and beats Roman, combine the titles, and unify them. Something to that effect. I know that's bizarre and very crazy. I just know Cody is beating his ass, winning some title from Roman Reigns. Night 2 is my prediction.
I think he'll be. It'll be his event when all is said and done. Cody's. I mean, so
I mean, he is on fire, dude. The most disliked YouTube. Not. By the way, it's not the most disliked WWE YouTube video of all time. It's the most disliked, supposedly, YouTube video of all time. And they shut it off. They shut it off, which I'm shocked at that they sold like that. You know, WWE never sells normally. I heard they shut it off so you couldn't dislike it anymore.
That's hilarious. So I've got to say, like, this press conference tomorrow is probably the most anticipated press conference as far as wrestling goes in ever.
What do you think they do, though? What do you think they do? We know what's going to happen in night 2. It's going to happen, right? We know it's, in my opinion, it's still going to happen. I think you get that too. But do you piss people off more by not giving it to them at the press conference?
I think you do it at the press conference. I think you say on night 1 it'll be Rock versus Roman Reigns.
Oh, okay.
And on night 2, it will be Cody versus the winner, and then you have Seth Rollins doing the Sid Vicious, ripping up the papers.
Remember that?
Yeah. So yeah, I think they've got to do something like that because you don't want people turning on the event, but they also do have 2 months to go.
Well, The Rock claims to be the people's champion, and he's very good at listening to audiences. He's very good at it. So he already knows, like I said, what time it is. There's no, he absolutely does. He doesn't have to watch a show to get what a major faux pas that was the other night.
Yeah. How
do they pivot is the question. And I like how everyone just thinks like Rock's going to be back and all this other stuff. I don't believe it. I don't. He's the busiest person in the world. Like, I think quite literally.
He's running a football league that's starting here in a couple of months.
And he's in movies and TV shows and so many things that's still yet to come out that we haven't even seen yet. And the more filming he's going to be doing along the way. And again, he does not want to be seen in the light being booed like that.
Yeah. Stellar Justin Lopez asking if we're going on after the presser. We are. So check us out tomorrow night. And we'll do one more before we wrap it up because, as we said, we'll be back tomorrow night. Our good friend Bigfoot Sneakerhead with the $4.99 super chat. What if The Rock says, I will step aside and fight Seth night 1? Cody, go and finish your story. Rock versus Seth just doesn't have that magic.
I'll take it just as long as we don't care, though, because the main payoff is still, again, Roman Seth. It just is, Raj. It's
Roman,
so
Cody,
like
Cody.
What'd I say?
Roman Seth.
Oh, Jesus, sorry. Yeah, Roman, Cody, rather. So no matter how they get there, they have to get there. And if it's a slight to Seth, like, okay, all right, my bad. But it's not more important than the other one. If Seth doesn't get a great challenger or whatever happens, they're not going to burn the building down. Yeah. They will burn that building down if they do not see, I'm telling you, Cody, pin Roman.
And Cody, this last Monday night after Raw, he did tweet out.
During Raw, supposedly at 9:30 p.m. And I know when I hear what a mark and what a loser I am, I went back to watch what was happening. Like, why do you pick that time to do it? Because the fans were chanting, "Rocky sucks," and we want Cody in the middle of other people's matches, and it got really at a pretty decently loud crescendo in the middle of a rando match.
Right,
and it was right around 9:30 mark. So I don't know. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Yeah, and so real quick, Cody's tweet was, appreciate the passion, God bless y'all, but trust me. So there's more to the story. We're going to find out. It's enjoy the ride. And so tomorrow night we'll be back, Matt Morgan, myself, and hopefully Glenn Rubenstein will be able to jump in from the presser. He'll be there live, and it'll be a fun ride. So thanks for tuning in, Matt. Any final words?
Yes, sir. One last thing, folks, please. I know I say it every time I'm on here. Please subscribe click the notification bell. Every freaking show says that. But the difference with ours is we are in real time trying to give these updates as they're happening. I've got tons of other favorite wrestling podcasts that I've got, checked off that automatically come in my feed, and I can't wait to hear them. But unfortunately, I'm stuck a week sometimes waiting to hear an update that now is like a week past the point on their opinion sometimes, right? So one of the things I want to make sure that we're clear about is when news is hitting, we're staying in front of it. And if you don't hit the notifications bell, you're not going to be able to see. If you don't turn your notifications on for this, rather, you're not going to be able to, catch us as we're popping on and doing these updates. I think that's super important because that's why we're all doing what we can to, no matter what we're doing. It could be at a city commission meeting. Raj could be doing whatever he's got going with his family at home. I'm coming right from the gym right now, cutting it short to get here, so we can be on time with as news is happening. Tonight, we originally wanted to cover Tony Khan's big announcement. # boy that cried wolf. But
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And yeah, as Matt mentioned, the notification. Also, please like this video, subscribe. It really does help with the YouTube algorithm. You guys have been awesome with it. This channel has grown so much in such a short period of time, so we appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And we will check back here. We'll check back with you guys here tomorrow night after the WWE WrestleMania 40 press conference. Take care.